Hi guys, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. In case you're just joining us for the first time, don't forget to click on the subscribe button. My name is Rema and we give solutions to psychological issues in the society on this platform. Today, like I promised, I said I was going to talk around how Sarah Jakes managed the pressure that she faced in life and how she was able to evolve around them. So I said I was going to use a documentary for review of the topic that we've been treating from the beginning of this month. We've been treating about pressure. We've said so much around pressure. I've shared my own personal experience. And today I am going to be sharing the documentary of Sarah Jakes and how she handled pressure. I mean, who did not love the video? Everybody loved what they saw when we all saw how TDJ spoke to her concerning passing the baton on her, and he said so many things. In fact, it was really a thoughtful thing. Sincerely, I had to go back and watch, and that actually pushed me to a space where I felt like I need to do this documentary. I just need to do this documentary. So before we go into full details, I'd like to ask you how you doing, how have you been holding up, how have you been managing the pressures of life around you. I hope you've been coping. I tell you that you keep fighting. Let me use all this in China. Fighting. Keep fighting. It's going to get better. So going back to talking around Sarah Jakes robot and a documentary, one thing I want you to know that literally it amuses me. One major thing that amuses me in her story is how she evolved within the process, within the pressure, within a lot of things that has actually happened to her in life, in ministry, how she was able to really evolve around them. I can remember the first time I had an encounter with her as a daughter of Bishop Jakes was when I read about the book Crushing. So in that book, I remembered T.D. Jakes was talking around how she got pregnant and how he had to struggle between what he actually represents in the society and how he should also respond as a father to her. And when I read that chapter, that was the first thing that caught my attention about Sarah James. I felt like it's not really easy for you to be a pastor of a church and knowing that your child has really done some things out of peer pressure and things around it, and you having to really give that child a good response. I mean, it's really something that seems a lot demanding on his side, and also from the daughter side, it seems to be something that is a lot demanding. It's really going to push you. It's really going to place a level of force and demand upon you. So I just look at it like putting myself in Sarah Jake's shoe right now, and then looking at backgrounds, looking at cultural views, looking at societal stigma, looking at pressure that the society will be putting on her as an individual, especially knowing the fact that she was a teenager at that age when she got pregnant. I can just imagine the pressure that she was going to be going through at that particular time, because in the first place, the pressure was going to bring misplacement of value, which I have shared in my last series concerning the effect and the tendency of pressure in an individual. It's going to bring misplacement of value, because she's sort of like, what's the value left? There's no value left. There's no, like, she's going to feel like there's nothing to really cherish, since the standard of what I'm upholding is not even supporting anything. And it's going to bring a lot of things, misplacement of value amidst the society, amongst people that love her, and so many things. And number two thing I also study is also going to bring to her confusion. She will be confused at that stage. She will be perplexed. She would have faced a lot of emotional issues, whereby she would have even asked herself so many questions that she would find hard to have answers to. She would find hard to, like, okay, what do I do? How did I get here? And so many things around it, which will bring a lot of confusion to her life, which will bring a lot of confusion to her state, and it will bring her to she really digging deep into a real reason of existence. her real reason of existence. Number third thing that I felt had effect on her while she was going through all this pressure was that she was gonna go through what we call depression and anxiety. And I think one of the things that helped her was because she had a good father who could, like, okay, regardless of what the society say, regardless of your mistake, I am going to choose to give you a good response. I am going to choose to give you a response of who a loving father Jesus is. And I just felt like in the midst of those things, depression, anxiety were going to really set into her life, and she was going to feel, in fact, she was going to feel like, I don't see a reason to be living anymore. I don't see a reason to do so many things anymore. And there's just I'm just going to recap on saying again that there's just going to be so many questions that she was going to be asking herself, and she was going to be demanding for answers concerning them. This will take me to number four. Number four is in the process of those pressure, in the process of those things she was going through, she would have developed low self-esteem. Many a times when life puts pressures on us, and we tend to feel like perplexed, confused, misplacement of visions. We tend to have low self-esteem. We don't see our self-worth. We don't see what we stand for. We don't see who we are. It takes a lot of process for us to gather so many courage to still say, I don't define myself by this particular thing that is happening to me. I don't define myself by my present situation. My present situation is not going to stop me from being who I am. The present pressure is temporary and it's not permanent. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of gathering so much thoughts together to really define yourself, so you will not dwell and you will not just sink into low self-esteem. And I feel like those are one of the things that she would have faced going through the pressure of probably just the pressure of giving birth at the age of 14 is number one. The pressure of getting married at the age of 19 and divorcing at the age of 20 is another one of them. And that could actually bring her to the place of, what exactly do I want in life? What exactly do I stand for in life? What exactly is the reason for me to have a self-worth in life, or find value in life, or probably discover myself and say, okay, what is it that I stand for in life? How do everybody cope with a lot of things? There was a part where she said something her dad told her. She was like, she came to church one day and people were looking at her, and they were, how people look at you and place stigma on you over certain things and begin to, put pressure on you when something happened at a particular stage in your life. She asked her dad, she said, Dad, people are talking about you in church and this and that. And dad replied and said, at that their age, they have done what you did, and they are looking at how you have the courage to put through what they don't have the courage to put through. Many a times, people put pressures on others, or society put pressure on others, because they are trying to see where you are getting your courage from. They are trying to see where you are fighting it from. They are trying to see how you are pulling through in the midst of whatever it is that happened to you. And regardless of what they do to you, one of the things I'm going to use TD Jakes' words, is regardless of what happened or the pressure that you face, you don't drop the mic. You preach in season and out of season. You keep representing what you chose to stand for. That is, if you actually understand that you stand for something, or you understand your self-worth, or you are able to really find values back in the midst of those pressure. So I think that's one thing she went through, having to give birth at the age of 14, having to get married 19, divorcing 20, remarrying again. It's just going to be a lot of pressure on her. But the beauty of everything is what I'm going to be bringing out today. The first beauty of everything Sarah Jakes has gone through is the fact that, number one, she was able to find herself in the midst of everything. I said something around misplacement of value. While she was going through that pressure and everything, there was just going to be a lot of questions roaring around her, asking her, demanding a lot of things from her. But her ability for you to find value is for you to define yourself in the midst of those challenges and pressures of life. So she was able to find herself. She was able to define herself. She was able to say, this is who I am. I am not, my life is not determined by the current pressure that I go through. My definition of who I am is not determined by the pressure I go through. I am this, I am that. And one of the most difficult things to really find is, when you are in the midst of pressure, ability to really say, to keep saying, this is who I am. My current pressure does not determine who I am. My current pressure does not determine that this is myself. It's really one thing that we need to define. Define yourself even in the midst of that pressure. That was one of the things that Jesus did. When he was being pressured, who are you? Who did they say you are? He told them, this is who I am. Always learn to find yourself in the midst of whatever pressure society life has placed on you. Number two thing I'm going to say is that in the midst of defining herself, she created value and standard for herself. While you are defining yourself, create value for yourself. Who are the people you want in your space? Who are the people you don't want in your space? Who are the people you want in your life? Who are the people you don't want in your life? What are the things you expect your life to become? When you create such value for yourself, remind yourself of the standard and value you have created for yourself. So when the society eat at you, when life come at you, the value you've been able to create for yourself will determine how you stand firm, even in the midst of the pressure that does not relate to your value, that does not relate with who you are. I mean, pressure should be something that has positive effect on someone and not negative effect. And when it's beginning to have negative effect on yourself, then you need to remind yourself of who you are and your values and standards. That will bring me to number three. Number three is that Sarah Jakes was able to turn her pressure to purpose. One of the things I love about women who come out from pressure is the fact that they could find purpose in their pressure. They could find that there are some people outside there going through some things you don't know about, and the fact that you were able to fight through shows that you have the ability and the grace to stand up for others and help them pull through it. That is finding purpose in your pressure. Whatever you have gone through in life, whatever it is, probably grief, you've been pressured about grief, probably you lost someone, pressured about life, you didn't attain some things at the time you attained it, probably you made mistakes in your life, and you just feel like, oh, I'm pressured about this, the society is putting stigma on me on this and that. In the midst of everything, the best news you could come so far with yourself is turning your pressures to purpose. Bring out purpose in your pain, bring out purpose in whatever it is you are going through. Find a reason to live and be a blessing to others in the midst of all those challenges. I mean, that is where your strength is. And the moment you find strength in purpose, I tell you, the devil that is going to eat you down, not the devil has not been developed yet, yes, because the devil knows that for you to thrive above your pain, for you to thrive above your pressure, shows how much you are willing to stand. Then number four is that what her mistakes does not bring her far from God. Instead, it brought her closer to God. One of the things I want you to understand as a believer is when pressure happens to you in life, when challenges happens to you in life, when things hit you in life, they shouldn't take you far away from God. Taking you far away from God is the achievement of the devil upon your destiny and your life. You have to allow whatever it is that you go through bring you closer to God. You have to allow them make you kneel at the face of God. You have to allow them make you hold on to the cross of God. The Bible says that we should cast all of our burden on Him, for we know that Jesus cares. Jesus loves us more than our shortcomings. Jesus loves us more than our pain. Jesus loves us more than whatever it is that we feel that we are going through or we have gone through in life. Ability to embrace the cross, ability to hold on to the loving kindness of God, ability to have a mindset that whatever pressures of life that you are going through or you have gone through, you are in the midst of it now, Jesus is greater than the storm. He said, I tell you in this world there's going to be trials and tribulation. He said, but be of good cheer, for I've overcome the world for you. So Jesus is not leaving us with the promise that everything is going to be smooth. He's leaving us with the promise that, see, you're going to go through a lot. You're going to go through pressure. You're going to go through challenges. But regardless of it, know that I'm with you. His name is Emmanuel. He said, know that I am with you. I am not leaving you alone. It's not just about you. It's not just about what you're going through. It's not just about what you're sinking into now. I am with you all the way. Every second, when you look around and you feel there's just nobody around you, nobody to encourage you, I am there with you. So I like the fact that Sarah James allowed her mistakes, allow her challenges to make her evolve more in God, to make her depend more on God, to make her see more of the loving kindness of God, to make her see that the love of God is so much upon her than for her to just live her life anyhow or go astray with whatever it is that has happened to her in life. And that's actually a few of the documentary I was able to pack together on Sarah Jake's documentary. I would really have liked to stay more and keep sharing and keep sharing and keep sharing and keep sharing. But guess what? Time is not on my side. Thank you for watching through. I hope you were blessed and I hope you are getting the courage to fight above your pressure and turn your pressure to purpose. This is it on this section in this month, and by God's grace next month we are going to be working on another topic. I want you to sit back, relax, and anticipate for what we are going to be discussing in our next video. So guys, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm your psychotherapist once again. I love you guys. Bye bye.